So the continuation of accessing IO devices I'm doing now. Accessing IO devices, as we have already seen in our last topic, we are having different units of a computer which are connected through the bus. So this bus is actually divided into different types of buses, and in this diagram that is shown detail. So we are having address bus, we are having address bus, so they are called as address lines, and then we are having the data lines, and then we are having control lines. So as I have told in the last topic explanation, that is control bus, that is control lines and data lines, they are bidirectional. So since they are bidirectional, the arrow is indicated in both the directions. So whereas the address lines are unidirectional, it is always from the input output devices are from the memory to the processor. So this is a unidirectional. So and all these lines are connected to input output interface. So and why this interface is required means the way of the expression of input output devices is different from the way in which the memory do its operation. So and while doing the offline classes also I explained that this IO interface, it is like a pipe. Okay, so if you are having two different things, so like I have given the example of a tap. Okay, if I am having a tap and its size is very much different from the size of the pipe, then we require an interface. So, and this interface is going to have the circumference at one side which is equivalent to the circumference of the pipe, and at the other end it should be equal to the size of the tap. Okay, so here this is an example, real life example for an interface. Okay, and why it is required means, so both are, we cannot connect this pipe directly to the tap because its size is different from its size. So in the same way, inside the computer, it may happen that the encryption decryption things, or the way in which the address decoder and encoder and the way in which the input output devices is going to do the coding with the input output address, it may differ from the way in which the computer is going to perform these operations. So in order to do these things smoothly, we require input output interface, and that input output interface is going to have address decoder, control circuits, data and status registers. And these input output interface, it will help us to make the interaction simpler with the computer. Okay, and this IO interface, it is same as that of this, the interface where we are having the tap and the pipe. So in the same way, here the encoding decoding techniques may be differ from that of the computer. For that reason, we require this IO interface. So let us see what are the things which are related to this. Input output device is connected to the bus using IO interface circuit, which has address decoder, control circuit and data and status register. So that is shown here diagrammatically. Address decoder decodes the address placed on the address line, thus enabling the device to recognize its address. So what this address decoder will do means, so whatever the address which is placed on the address line, it will be decoded with the help of this address decoder. So and, with this decoder, the input device come to know that whatever the address on the address line, it is its address. Data register holds the data being transferred to or from the processor. So here we are having data in the status register. This data line or data bus, it is going to hold the data which is to be transferred to or from the processor. Status register holds the information necessary for the operations of the IO device. So the status register, what it is going to have means, it is going to have the the control signals like whether to what extent it has done the transmission, or whether it is free or whether it is busy, like this. Different control signals are to be exchanged before actual data transmission. So status register help us to do that. So, and then data and the status registers are connected to the data lines and have unique address. IO interface circuit coordinate IO transfer. So, to help the data transmission smoothly conducted from the end of input output device, we require this IO interface. So, recall that the rate of transfer to and from IO device is slower than the speed of processor. This creates the need for mechanism to synchronize data transfer between them. So in order to synchronize the data transmission, we have program controlled IO. So that is, the processor repeatedly monitors a status flag to achieve the necessary synchronization, and then processor polls the IO device. So these are the two different things which can be used for synchronization mechanism. Two other mechanism used for synchronizing data transfer between the processor and the memory are interrupts and direct memory access. So in the subsequent classes, we'll come to know about these topics in detail. That's all about this session.